This video is brought to you by Atomic Wheels, your go-to source for premium fully forged rims for your electric vehicle. Enhance the style and range of your Tesla or Rivian today. Go to atomicwheels.com and use code TFLEV for 10% off your order.
Hey guys, welcome to just outside of Seattle, Washington, where Ford flew me out to review this, the brand new 2024 Mustang Mach-E. Okay, hold on. It's not brand new. It's kind of sort of refreshed. And in this video, we're gonna get hands-on with it. So I'm gonna show you what is new, and we're gonna go under the hood, so to speak. We're gonna sit in the front seat, back seat, show you how much room there is in the back, talk about this new GT package with these badass wheels and big ass Brembo brakes. But before we do that, let's talk, you and me, okay? I'm sure you know there's been a lot of talk about the fact that electric cars are dead, that people aren't buying them, that we went too far too fast, and that hybrids or plug-in hybrids are the future. And there's a lot of congratulating on the part of EV haters who are saying, you know what, told you so, electric cars aren't the future. In fact, it's good old internal combustion. Now, I'm not sure about that, but I can tell you some numbers and you can decide for yourself. So Ford sells about, get this, 40,000 Mustang Mach-E's a year. To me, that sounds like a number far from dead. In fact, in April, I think it was on the 1st, they sold 1,000 of these in one day. So apparently there still is some demand, or maybe quite a bit of demand for electric vehicles. Now, last year, electric vehicles accounted for 3% of Ford sales. This year, it's up to 5%. So I think that number is going up, not down, but I'll let you decide. So let's talk about the Mustang Mach-E now. Of course, this is the new-ish GT model, which is the one that competes directly with the Tesla Model Y Performance. And there are some improvements. From a styling point of view, first and foremost, check this out. You've got these new headlights, which if you're a fan of TFL, you'll know that they look very similar to its internal combustion engined big brother, small brother, the regular Ford Mustang GT. And they're no longer, you know, as I would say, friendly. These are much meaner looking, much more square jawed. Also, I love the fact that now you've got these big old tires. Comes with Pirellis. Let's see what size these are. Cole, do you see where the number is? It's probably hidden somewhere over here. We go, 245, 45, R20. So we've got 20s with big old Brembo brakes. In the past, the performance package, you had to pay for bigger brakes. You had to pay for like performance seats. Now they've all bundled it. So the GT gets all that in one package. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how much this costs and how much that compares to the Tesla Model Y, which it competes against directly. Now, of course, the big news is under here. And if you were expecting to see a NACS, North American Charging Standard port, well, you're going to be disappointed because it's still CCS. But Ford was the first to jump on the NACS bandwagon. In other words, the Tesla Supercharger network. So if you buy a Mach-E, you're going to get this, a no charge, an adapter, which allows you to adapt to the NACS standard and actually go and use a Tesla Supercharger. So how cool is that? Of course, there have been some grumbling with Tesla firing the entire Supercharger team, so I'm sure that was a very unpleasant surprise for Ford. But in general, you should be able to take this and go charge it at your local Tesla Supercharger, probably pissing off all the guys and gals who are driving Teslas. I'd like to be there when that happens. Actually, I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right, let's look under the hood. Okay, I know it's not a hood. This is an electric car, so it's a frunk. But I love frunks because they're so useful. And this one is actually quite roomy. Look at that. You could put, you know, a rollerboard in there, maybe some wet gym clothes that you don't want stinking up the cabinet, maybe some stinky food that you'd rather not have in the cabin of the car, but it's good. So let's talk about the stuff that's new. Now, Ford is very proud of the fact that they now have a new rear motor that's built in-house. And get this, that means that this new 2024 Mach-E GT is quicker. It's gone from 3.6 seconds, 0 to 60, to 3.3. There's also an increase in horsepower, 480 horsepower and 700 pound-foot of torque in this dual motor unit, which of course is all-wheel drive. and a quarter mile time of 11.8 seconds. And that will take your breath away. So that is all good. And it is, of course, one of the things that makes electric cars so much fun to drive because, well, every time you floor it, they put a smile on the driver's face and they make the passenger sick. True that. All right, let's look on the inside. Now here, of course, we have kind of a standard Mach-E setup, which means that you've got kind of an interesting mix of materials. I do like the seats. These are, of course, the sport seats with kind of this extra bolstering for your shoulders. There is, of course, a very big glass roof, which is nice for letting in light, especially in some place like Seattle where it, sorry about the Seattle lights, where it does tend to rain a lot. Close the door, and then we can boot up the car. I do love this material, which makes it very kind of sporty and outdoorsy. And of course, this big fat steering wheel. And unlike a Tesla, there's actually a screen in front of you, which is nice because you don't have to take your eyes off the road. Now this one has 88% battery. There are actually two batteries in the Mach-E. There's about a 70 kilowatt hour usable and a 90 kilowatt hour usable extended range. The Mach-E GT now gets, I believe, about 280 miles of range. And if you get the regular rear wheel drive, you can get as much as 320 miles of range with the extended range battery. And charging, if you're wondering about that, is up to 150 kilowatts. Which, you know, is kind of where we're at right now. But certainly some of the competitors go up to 250, and some of the newer cars go even quicker than that if they have an 800 volt architecture. But now we're getting into the weeds, so let's get out of the weeds. Really what all that means is that you're going to get 90 miles of combined MPGE, in other words, 95 in the city and 85 on the highway, for 37 kilowatt hours per 100 miles, which, you know, on the scheme of things probably was good when this was introduced in 2021, but now it's starting to feel a little bit electron hungry. But in general, I do like, you know, the seating position. I do like the fact that you got a lot of headroom. There's a lot of shoulder room. Materials don't feel cheap. There is a nice little knob here if you love actually picking your own gears. And I say that because our new Tesla truck actually does that for you. Then you do have a traditional knob here that lets you do that. Big GT embossed right here so that you know that you're driving the fast one. And we've got the newest version of Sync 4. Ford says what they've done is that they've actually changed the graphics to make them less cartoon-like. And I'll leave it up to you to decide. Let's see how we're doing here. It does seem a little bit slow and a little bit laggy, but it is a big screen. And of course, you know, things like your HVAC controls are all in the screen. So you've got heated seats here and automatic heated seats. How nice is that? And of course, a heated steering wheel, so all the bells and whistles. And then in general, you know, icons for everything. We have our Mustang Mach-E, and we also have our long-term Ford Raptor Ranger, which uses the same system with the screen being rotated the other way. Don't know why. I wish manufacturers would stick to one orientation. But in general, it's a pretty good system. It's still not quite up to like Tesla's intuitive way of making things easy to understand with not as many sub-menus. But in general, I like it, and I'm getting used to it. I think once upon a time, you didn't have to get used to each manufacturer's vehicle's infotainment, but we're in a brave new world now, so, well, that doesn't change whether you're driving an electric vehicle or whether you're driving an internal combustion vehicle. All right, let's sit in the back. Let's see how much room there is. One of the things that makes a Mach-E interesting is, let me show you this over here, is they've kind of done a very clever thing, and they've hidden the fact that this is really an SUV, right? It's really a tall vehicle, and the way they've done that is by changing the color of the roof. So when you look at it visually, you don't see this black part, which actually sticks up, gives you headroom. You see this, which gives you a much more coupe-like profile. And I think that was visually pretty clever to make a tall vehicle look more sporty. But let's see if that pays dividends on the inside with headroom. All right, now I am sitting behind myself. And these performance seats really do have thick bolsters back here. And it's okay, you know. I mean, plenty of headroom, certainly comfortable place for a big guy like me to spend some time with somebody else. I think if you actually had to sit in the middle seat, you wouldn't want to do so unless you were driving to lunch. But a lot of quality, interesting graphic design in the seats, nice French stitching, and you know, individual vents. Even though the newest Teslas have little screens here that also allow you to control your heated seats, and depending on what model you get, play yourself some infotainment fun like YouTube videos while you're waiting to charge up. All right, and the last part of the car that you might be interested in is just how much room is in the back. Ford says that there's a huge amount of room back here, and you know, they're not wrong. I think with the seats up, it's not that big, but certainly you could get a lot of luggage in here. But at the seats down, good God, you can go camping in the back of this vehicle. All right, let's wrap this up by talking about price. The GT model, which we're standing in front of, starts at about $50,000, $54,000. And then if you want to go up to the brand new GT Rally, that gives you about a $60,000 price tag. And we will be reviewing that as well. And actually, we're going to be taking that off-road on a rally course. So I'm super psyched about that. And if you want to see that review, it's coming and it'll be over at alltfl.com. There's a new bronze package that you can get in the GT with bronze wheels, and there's a bronze nose, and there's some bronze accents on the inside. That adds just under, I think, like $1,300 if you want to be a little bit bronzy. But otherwise, this is a little bit more expensive, about $1,500 more than a Tesla Model Y, which this would directly compete with. And if you're wondering why I keep referencing Tesla, it's not because I've forgotten that there is a whole bunch of cars in this segment. It's just that they're kind of the leaders. They were the first to get there. And so I'm using them as the bar to which I kind of hold up all vehicles that are electric, that, you know, have copied Tesla in a lot of ways, like getting rid of door handles, which I don't love. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the Mach-E. Is this something that would be on your wish list? Do you like the fact that now it's faster from 0 to 60 to 3.3 seconds so you can scare your friends and put a big smile on your face if you're driving it? Or do you find that electric cars are just something that is a blip in the evolution of cars, and that eventually these are going to go away like the dinosaur, which could pop out of here any second? All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Ciao.